Hey, what's up? My name is Joe Welch, and I am the game director for Cranked. We just launched the free playtest on Steam, so I wanted to do a video with some tips and tricks to get you started, get you playing, off to a good start. So let's just dive right into it. Oh, and by the way, there's going to be timestamps and chapters for every section. So if you don't want to listen to part of it and you want to skip around, just check out below and skip around, do your thing. And another thing is that this is a pre-alpha version of the game. We're a little over 200 days in the making of Cranked, and we need probably 2 years to make Cranked. So bear with us. There's going to be bugs. There's going to be some issues, but you guys can get in there, try out the physics, see how it feels, and see if it's a game for you. So when you enter the game, you'll get to this screen. There's two options here. We're going to mostly be playing in the demo map. If you want access to the open world map, you actually have to join our Patreon. This is only available to our Patreon supporters, but if you click on this, it'll actually give you a link to our Discord, so you can hop over to Discord and share your feedback with us there directly. Before we hop into the demo map, you look in the top right, you can change your username. So if you click on this little pencil thing, we'll give you a username for the leaderboards randomly, but if you want to change yours, you just type in the username you want, hit validate, and then your username will be changed. And then we'll enter into the demo map. Also, I recommend you guys play on a controller. You can see the controls when you load in. You can also hit select on your controller, and there's a controls button here. So it'll show you the controls as well. You can't customize your controls yet. There are keyboard controls, and the keybinds for that are listed in our Discord, but we're probably going to remove keyboard because it just doesn't play as well. So highly recommend that you use controller for this. Let's go over the controls real quickly. Right trigger is going to be pedal. Left trigger is brake. The left stick is turning the handlebars left and right. Forward and back on the left stick is leaning the rider forward and backwards. And then the right stick is how you crouch, how you jump, and how you lean. And I'll go over that in a little bit. A is how you interact with things in the environment or in the menus. B will restart you when you're doing race runs and other things like that. X changes your camera view. Drone mode, D-pad up will enter drone mode. D-pad down, tapping will respawn at your marker. To place a marker, hold a D-pad down. So you need to hit the X to back out of this menu. And quickly we'll exit this, and I'll just kind of show you guys how jumping works. So the right stick down and up is how you bunny hop. If you do it quickly, it'll be a smaller bunny hop. If you hold it for a little bit, it'll be bigger. And you can also start adding in the left stick to make bunny hops even bigger, kind of like you would. So if you do just the right stick, you kind of do like a Euro bunny hop where both wheels come up at the same time. But if you want to do more of an American style bunny hop where the front wheel comes up first, you got to add in the left stick. So as you crouch down with the right stick, pull back on the left stick, and you can make it much bigger. Let me go faster here. So it's a lot easier to do off jumps, but you could start practicing it and you'll get the hang of it. You can add in both sticks to make your bunny hops a little bit better. All right, so that's the controls. You can use both sticks. So the right stick will also lean. So you can use both sticks turning to lean even sharper. But we'll go over some more gameplay stuff as we play in a bit. But first I want to dive into the settings. So let's go into the settings, right? The first setting in the top left is going to be your quality settings. If you're getting bad frames per second or bad performance, just drop that down. Master volume, obviously self-explanatory. For the FPS cap, there's a checkbox in the top right. If you check that, then you can cap your frames per second however you want. I have mine unchecked. FOV correction is not currently doing anything, so you can ignore that. FOV will obviously change your FOV. I recommend these settings that I have. This is how I roll. So I got a 115 FOV. Seat vertical will raise your camera height up and down. I prefer it around 0.15. And horizontal is forward and backward. I like mine at 0.05. And tilt factor is how much the camera will tilt with your bike as you're turning in berms and turns and such. So if you have a tilt factor of 1, the camera's going to tilt with your bike completely. And if you have a tilt factor of 0, the camera will stay level with the horizon and the bike will tilt underneath you. So I like a tiny bit of tilt, but not much. I've been messing around with this lately. For now, I'm going to put it at 0.2. We do have third person as well. Forgot to mention that, but yeah, you can change your camera. LOD bias is like how quickly and how far away things will load in. So if you have really bad performance, you can drop this down. Obviously the stuff is still there. So if you drop it down all the way, you're going to start running into things. So you don't want to drop it down all the way. And also that'll change if you change these settings. So if I go to low, it'll automatically drop that down. The top middle, you can change your resolution. So, it automatically wants to run at your native screen resolution, but you can also drop that down if you're getting bad performance. And then over here, we've got volumetric fog, post-processing, shadows, screen flash. Screen flash, when you're close to crashing, but you didn't crash, the screen will be like this gray and white kind of color. It is kind of helpful when you're learning to trail. So you can kind of see like were you on the limit or not. But if you turn these things off, you'll get better performance. Obviously, VSync, self-explanatory. Try it on, try it off, see what you think. In-air rotation assist. So we'll show you how that is right now. All right, so in-air rotation assist will automatically rotate your bike after you jump. So here we go. I'm gonna jump, turn to the side, and I let go of the sticks, and you can see it's automatically correcting me. If I turn that off, hit that same jump and turn in the air, and then let go of the sticks, you'll see I don't get corrected. I just stay. So here we go. Let go of the sticks, and you can see I just stay that way. So that's in-air rotation assist. If you're new and you want to throw some whips, let go of the sticks and kind of like let it come back automatically, check that on. Imperial units will just change the speed in the bottom right from miles per hour or kilometers an hour. And then restart at checkpoints has to do with racing. And basically, if you have that checked on, anytime you pass through a timing gate, it acts as a checkpoint. And then when you hit the restart button, you'll restart back at the latest checkpoint. If you have that unchecked, you're always going to restart back at the very top of the race course. So I'll talk more about that as we do a race run later. Before we dive into the gameplay stuff, I actually want to talk to you about the leaderboards. If you hit start on your controller, you'll open the leaderboard. You can use the D-pad to navigate to the different trails up and down. There's 4 raceable trails currently on this demo map. So we have Fika Break, which is going to be the easiest. Then Shredskogen's the next hardest. Katlagrotten, and then the hardest one is going to be this Livsfilia. There is a wheelie leaderboard. It's kind of bugged, so you can kind of ignore that for now. But if you want to fast travel to the top of any of these trails, you just select it on the leaderboard and hit A. We're going to start on Fika Break. And now this is putting you into race mode. So as soon as you move forward, the race will start. And you have to stay within these yellow gates. If you go outside of one, then the next time you pass through one, you'll see a track failed. You can continue your run if you want, because sometimes it's nice to just see how you would have done. But if you want to restart at any time, you just hit B, and you're going to restart right at the top. If you want to exit race mode, you hold B. That'll exit race mode, and now you can free ride, do whatever you want. The other way to enter a race is if you see kind of these yellow beacons when you're riding around, you can just ride here and hit A, and that's going to pop you into race mode as well. Easier to do it from the leaderboard. The other thing with the leaderboard is you can flip through the pages with the D-pad left and right. Your username is going to be the one with the little symbol on the left of it, and whichever one is yellow is whose time you're racing against. So let's say I want to race against the best player in the world, Sutton up here. I could click on him, his name will turn yellow, and then when I go to race, you'll see in the bottom it says racing against Sutton. I missed a checkpoint there, but when I hit the timing gates, I'll race until we hit the first timing gate here, and you'll see there'll be a big red number because he's really fast and I can't keep up with him. But yeah, so you can pick names, find your friends on the leaderboard, find the world record, and you could click on whoever you want. It automatically defaults to racing against your own best time. So here's a timing gate, and as I pass through a timing gate, I'll see how much slower I am to the person I'm racing against. So I'm 1.7 seconds slower than Sutton at the first timing gate. So this is race mode. This is how race mode works. If I had that restart at checkpoints thing turned on, I would restart at that checkpoint. I have it turned off, so it's going to take me right back to the top. If you do restart at the checkpoint, your timer's still continuing. The timer does not reset at what the time was at that checkpoint. So restarting at checkpoints is really helpful for when you're learning the track and you just want to get top to bottom. You're not necessarily going for a fast run. If you're starting to go for fast runs, you're going to want to check that off and just restart at the top because it's going to be faster. All right. Now let's go over some gameplay tips. I'm just going to be in race mode here, racing on Fika Break, which is the easiest trail. And as we do that, I'm going to just kind of talk to you about some tips and tricks. One thing about this game is that it's very playful and it encourages you to jump around. You're actually a little bit faster in the air than when you're on the ground. So you'll see a lot of the top players are hopping around, jumping, trying to find gaps, downsiding everything they possibly can. So I encourage you guys to jump around a lot, try to find little gaps, little downsides, little doubles. Like right here is a good example. I could just cruise this. That's the wrong way to do it. But here's an example of how you should do this section. Instead of just cruising it, there's a little bump here. You're going to launch. And if you can, you want to try to launch over that rock because that rock will slow you down. Same with right here. You're jumping around, hopping around, trying to find downsides. Downside the backside of jumps and little bumps and ridges. Here's another example right here. Jump. You'd think, why do I jump there? It actually is going to increase your speed a tiny bit. Same with this. Jump here. Jump right there. Get playful with the sticks. Start throwing them around in the air. Have some fun. Whip the bike around. It's all free physics, so you kind of just throw the sticks around however you want. For corners, you want to stay as smooth as possible. If you hear your wheels making like you're losing traction, then you're going to actually be slowing down. So you want to try to be smooth in the turns. Try to get, finesse the sticks if you can. You can use both sticks to lean a little bit. You really just need the left one, but if there's a really sharp corner and you're going very fast, you can add in a little bit of the right one. See that noise right there? That's letting you know you're losing a little bit of traction and probably losing some speed. And And line choice is a huge deal. So like right here, instead of just kind of cruising over, you can gap this all the way to this little downside. So that's what you're looking for. You're trying to find all these little kind of gaps and downsides and try to stay smooth. I want to talk about jumping. A lot of people will ask about how can they go faster on jumps. The key is to pre-hop. So on this jump, instead of jumping at the top right there where I go very deep and I go really high, I want to jump at the base of the jump if I want to stay lower. So what I'm going to do is jump right now, and I say much lower, and I have a trajectory that's more straightforward instead of a higher arch, which is going to keep me lower. So you can see what I'm doing is on all these jumps, I kind of try to lift my front wheel up, pre-hop it, and then push my front end down, and it gives me like a little bit of forward momentum. It takes a little bit of getting used to, and it's more of kind of an advanced technique. But you could try that and try pre-hopping and see if that helps you stay lower and a little bit faster on jumps. All right, Fika run top to bottom. Let's go. I'll talk you through some lines. Little hop in the beginning helps you gain some momentum. And pre-hop that jump, stay lower. Try to stay smooth in this turn. Pre-hop this, stay to the left here. Also stay to the left on this. Hit that little lip, nice cut left. You want to jump here, land to the left of this rock or clear it if possible. I like to pre-hop this and then land on that downside. This gets a little tight, got to be careful of the trees. I like to stay on the ground in these corners and just lean. Try to stay as smooth as possible. Right here is a little trick. You got to pre-hop this and cut the corner. You got to make sure you stay in track bounds. You can hop off of this, which will get you in the air. Pre-hop that. Big jump here. Now, nice and smooth on the sticks and this nice switchback. Jumping out of it. Keep your speed and momentum going. Jump again. Nice and easy in this. Bad example there, but you want to try to be easy in that turn. And you've got this little rock garden section with a couple little gaps. You want to gap close to the left side. Ooh, I'm going to miss my mark. Oh, I think we're good. Nope, it's all right. We'll finish it. But you want to jump out of that berm and then take it to the finish. Then you can keep riding here, and there's actually some sweet jumps. You do some 360s and crash and flips. We'll talk about flips and spins now. So let's go back down to that section, and I'll show you how that goes. To get there, we're going to fly the drone. So D-pad up on the drone is going to put you in drone mode. You can change views if you want first person or like a FPV style view, or you can actually see the drone. But we're going to go fly down to this section. I'll show you how to drop a marker with it. So we just follow the trail. If you stay close to the ground, it's a little easier to see. Otherwise, it starts getting foggy. But we're going to go right over here. So if you kind of want to session these jumps, I find it easiest to just kind of place a marker up in this turn, hold down on the D-pad, and now you've got your marker with your drone. You can just tap down and you're going to spawn right there. So that's how the drone works. Another thing with the drone that's pretty fun is when you're flying the drone, you can go anywhere and place a ramp. So if I hit A with the drone, it's just going to drop this kicker. You can't do this in race mode. So if you're in race mode where you drop a ramp and enter race mode, your ramp will go away. But it's pretty fun. So you can kind of go find some natural terrain and just like throw some ramps down. Let's see if we can find a spot and I'll demonstrate. All right. So like right here, maybe we could place a ramp and try to gap down to there. I don't know if it'll work. Never tried this spot before. But let's fly up this way. Maybe like right here on this flat spot. It's probably going to be too far, and that might be too much. It takes some like getting used to. It's a little janky at times, but let's try up higher maybe. Well, let's just try it. So place your ramp, then you come up here, place a marker, holding down on the D-pad, then you respawn there. I forget where I put it, so I'm going to go slow. Oh, there it is. Anyway, so there you go. Hit that, land on this downside. It's pretty fun. All kinds of different line options open up once you start messing around with the ramps. So there's the ramp feature. Let me go show you guys these jumps, and let's talk about flips and spins. The main controls for flips and spins is going to be the left stick. So left stick forward and back like this is how you're going to flip, and left stick left and right is how you're going to spin. So in flips, if the right stick tucks your rider down and up, like when you're jumping and you go down, you guys squats. So, and then if you go up, he stands. So in the air, you can move the sticks around. But if you're tucked in a flip, this is an untucked flip. See how slow it is? So I was untucked. Let me do a tucked flip and you'll see how much faster. So if you tuck in a flip, you're going to flip faster. It's the opposite with spins. If you stand up in a spin, you're going to spin faster. So if you're doing spins, you want to be up on the right stick. And if you're doing flips, you want to be down on the right stick in the air. So let me show you the difference between the two different spins. I'm going to spin this one with the stick up faster. I'm going to spin this one with the stick not up. And you can see how much slower it is. So spins and flips are pretty dynamic. It's pretty fun. And then you can combine them and do all kinds of like cash rolls and all kinds of different things. So that's how spins and flips work. The other tricks you can do are like wheelies, whips, and scrubs, which we'll talk about that. Let's talk about wheelies first. It's all with the left stick. So you just kind of get riding, pull the left stick back, and then just kind of balance it. And then once you're in here, you can use the left stick to turn, or you can add in a little bit of right stick. We're still working on the leaning physics in wheelies, so it's a little bit off right now, but they're still pretty fun. So obviously you can pedal in it, or you can not pedal. And that's how wheelies work. All right, let's talk about scrubs. I'm going to hit this little jump coming out of this cave on Livsphilia, and I'll give you some tips on how to scrub. So we are still working on scrub physics, so they're work in progress, but you can do them. So we're just going to hit this rock drop and launch onto this jump. And I'm going to first do one without a scrub. And you can see we landed just about perfectly. Now, when I'm on the face of the jump, I want to take both sticks. I'm going to start with the right stick leaning, and then once I get towards the top, I'm going to flick in the left stick and hit both sticks off to the side. You kind of need to aim the opposite direction you're going to do the scrub. Otherwise, you'll do something like this, where you're going to go off too far to the side. But you can already see how much shorter. Like, I'm not going to be able to scrub this jump and grease the landing because it's obviously too short. But just for demonstrations, you can see that scrubbing is effective. So without a scrub, I'm clearing that thing. With a scrub, I'm just landing on it like a table. So practice your scrubs and whips. You can do it both directions. They're pretty fun, but we're going to improve those in the future. We can do a scrub here in third person. You can kind of see what's happening. So there you go. That's scrubs and whips. All right, well, that's just scrubs. Here's whips. So whips are basically the same thing, but wait to do it into the air. And, you kind of just move both sticks around, throw the bike around. We're still working on the animations, so they don't look super good. I'll do another one here in third person for you. But yeah, we're going to get the third person animations and everything figured out. Yeah, so you kind of just throw the bike around. Super playful, fun, all free physics. So that's how scrubs and whips work. So outside of the 4 trails that you can race via the leaderboard, like remember we said you could fast travel to all of these, we have some hidden trails. And I'm going to show you where the hidden trails are. So if you want to be able to find them on your own, you might want to skip this section. Spoiler alert. Off the bat, the first hidden trail is going to be behind the bike shop. So this is the bike shop, still a work in progress. But if you come around to the side of the bike shop, you will see this piece of wood sitting up next to it. Ride up this piece of wood onto the roof of the bike shop. And then you're going to gap down to the left. And that is the start of a small little trail that's super fun and flowy. It's the first trail that I made, actually. We have a different level designer, but I got bored one day and made this trail. So this will drop you into this trail. So this is the first secret trail. That's how you enter it. I won't play the whole thing. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but there's the first one. And off of Fika Break is another one. So if we take Fika Break, this one's a little more technical, but let's take Fika Break and I'll let you show I'll show you guys this whole run so you know exactly where to go. While we're getting down there, I think the most fun way to play this game is to pick a trail. I recommend you start on Fika Break, enter race mode, and just play for a while. Play for an hour or two. And just work on getting your times lower and lower and lower, and you will quickly learn the way the game works. There's a lot of skill depth in this game, so you might look at the leaderboards and be like, how is the top dude like 25 seconds faster than me? I don't understand. But the more you play it, the more you'll understand, the more you'll get it, the more it'll start clicking. So really just kind of like pick a trail and dial it in, play it over and over. And it's actually really fun and addicting to just try to keep lowering your times and see yourself climbing up the leaderboards. But right here, this turn, instead of taking this turn to the right, it's the last big right-hander. You just go over it and you'll see this little wooden thing here. This is the start of another little hidden trail. Remember, you can use a drone, fly the drone around, place a marker, and then boom, you can just like respawn at this thing, session this trail. So this trail requires a lot of finesse, a lot of speed control. It's a very techy trail. Another one that I like threw together kind of quickly just for the play test. So you guys had more fun stuff to do in here. But it's kind of, ooh, that was weird. It's kind of North Shore-y style. Lots of fun things on it. It's tough though. You can get through it. Some of the wood stuff is a little glitchy. So you want to make sure you don't case any of the wood or anything like that. Then your tires might get stuck. Like right, if you do something like that. Oh dude, I'm like upside down. But anyway, this spot's fun. I'll show it to you in drone mode. So you got this drop, got to slow down. hit this drop. Then you got these little kind of banked berms into here, into a wall ride. Beautiful floating wall ride. It's magic. I know, it's crazy. Around these berms, uphill, kind of hit this little quarter pipe I made. And then you send this double. Another little kind of berm transfer up here. You got to jump around this tree to the left. Then you take these skinnies, drop down here. And right here, you've got to hit this huge ski hill jump. People wanted a mega ramp, so I threw in a mega ramp. You need to control your speed here, though. 50 miles per hour, I don't know what that is in kilometers an hour, is about perfect. And if you hit this at 50 miles an hour, you will gap it into here. Then you want to kind of chill out, hit right here, and hopefully squeeze between these trees and land right there. So that is the other secret trail. Those are the two main secret trails. And that about covers it. The only other tips that I will give you is that you should head over to our Discord. We have a whole section in there called Trail Talk. And if you go in there, it's like a forum. And there's a different forum page for each different trail in the game. So if you want help, you want to ask people about their lines, you want to see like some world record runs. A lot of our top players post videos of their runs in there. So if you want some help, you want to learn the lines, head over to our Discord, go to the Trail Talk section. If you have any other feedback for us, drop it in the Discord, drop it in the comments of this video, drop it anywhere and we'll find it. And we're listening. Hope you guys enjoy the playtest. If you guys want to play more than just the demo map and you want access to the open world map, like I said before, you need to join the Patreon. The Patreon's $5 a month, but I'll quickly show you how the open world map is. But the open world map is not as pretty. We have not got our artist Maggie in here to work on things yet, but there are way more trails and more get added in here every single month. Antgrass is our trail builder. So if you've played Descenders, you've probably played some of his modded maps, but he is our full-time level designer and he's the one working on all these. So as you can see, many more trails in here. These ones are a lot more realistic. They're just better. I mean, the demo map trails are pretty good too, but these ones just have a different vibe. So if you the demo map and the 4 race trails and the 2 secret trails didn't satisfy you enough and you're itching for more, you want some more, head over to our Patreon, sign up, and you can get racing on all these. There's probably about 20, I don't know, 15 or 20 different trails in here and more being added all the time. So yeah, it's not as pretty looking, but more options. So that's there for you. That's about it. I hope I covered most of the tips and tricks that I wanted to get through. If you guys have any questions, like I said, let me know and we're going to help you out. So thanks for playing the playtest. See you guys in the next one. Bye.